Ready to love, and this is one of my inspired videos, y'all, and this video is inspired from the interview that Dakiya did with ChristalXO. I'm gonna start doing a few more of these videos on the interviews, especially if I get inspired or hear something in the interviews that I find interesting. But in this interview that Dakiya did with ChristalXO, I learned a couple of things. One is I didn't know Dakiya won the award for classiest, most classy on the show. I guess she came in first place, and second place was Ace, and third place was AP. Also, we got confirmation that Dakiya does have a new man. It sounds like she in love, so I'm so happy for her about that. This is the picture of the man right here. I guess she said they went on vacation and everything. But the interesting part of the story was Dakiya said he was right in her backyard. I told y'all that Dakiya had plenty of good suitors who've been after her and she just overlooked them. She basically confirmed it. She said she and this guy have been friends for a long time, and everybody else in her circle knew they should be together, but I guess she didn't know they should be together. And like I told y'all before, I know who Dakiya is. Dakiya is smart enough, cute enough, attractive enough, all that stuff to have found a man by now. So I already know what the situation's been with Dakiya out here is men have absolutely been interested in Dakiya, and she has overlooked a lot of them. So come to find out that this new man that she with now is one that's been hanging around for years, probably is a good guy, and she put him in the friend zone. And now she's starting to relook at him and say maybe she need to upgrade him from the friend zone to the potential lover zone or whatever other kind of zone she done put him in. But like I told you before, Dakiya been overlooking men out here. I can already tell. Dakiya also gave us confirmation that the real reason Eric and her had the big tiff and he got eliminated off the show was because he absolutely did grab her breast. She finally said it out loud. They didn't let her say it on the real show exactly what it was. They just talked about an impropriety. But you know, the streets was talking and telling what the real story was. But she confirmed it. He grabbed her breast. But she also added the fact that, you know what, it wasn't his choice to go home. The story's told, the way she told it was that production told him to go on home. So he didn't get a choice. He didn't self-eliminate. He was fired. And the other part of it that I thought was kind of interesting was that Dakiya wasn't going to say nothing to production, and she wasn't going to escalate it. But I guess P.O. stepped in, and P.O. decided he was going to tell production because I guess he was taking up with Dakiya and protecting the queen. I don't know. I mean, some could look at it as protection, but as sneaky as a lot of people think P.O., because if Dakiya didn't want to do nothing about it, I don't know why P.O. stepped in and took it upon himself to do it. But Dakiya said she was just going to move on, but it was P.O. who actually escalated it. So depending on how you think, maybe some of you think he should have done it. Maybe some people think that he should have left it in the hands of Dakiya to do what she wanted with it. Maybe some people think P.O. was protecting Dakiya, and other people think he was protecting her, but also doing some things to help himself. Who knows? I don't know. I really don't have no opinion on it, to be honest with you. But I think one of the most interesting things that Dakiya said on the whole show, especially when it was in regards to Clifton, was that she was dating Clifton with blinders on. You heard me, with blinders on. First of all, who goes into a dating situation with blinders on? So anyway, so this becomes the whole reason why Dakiya said she never knew how strong the connection was between Joy and Clifton. Now, let me just say this. Okay, I think Dakiya is very classy. Now, would I have voted Dakiya the classiest of the show? Absolutely not. I probably would have voted Ace for that, because let me tell you, all the sex talk that Dakiya did throughout this show, I didn't think was very classy. I didn't. And if you watched my earlier videos about Dakiya, I was really, really hard on her because I was saying, why is she talking about all this sex stuff? And to me, that would have eliminated her from the grand prize of the most classiest. So I'm going to say that. And also, I was a little bit disappointed that that wasn't talked about in the interview, because that was a big conversation out here in the streets of all the sex talk. I really would have wanted to know why Dakiya played along with that type of conversation. And not only did she play along with it, a lot of times she initiated it. I really, really wanted to know why that was a part of her dating strategy. And let's be honest, this is a dating show, which means if you're coming on here to find love, you should definitely have a strategy. And that's a strategy either to find love, what you want to concentrate on, what you don't want to concentrate on. And I would have wanted to know why having explicit sex conversations with men you barely know, why that was a part of her dating strategy, because I think it was a bad strategy. But anyway, getting the bad strategies, I'm also later on to that about this strategy of what she said was that she had blinders on with Clifton, and that what she didn't want to focus on what Clifton was doing with other people. She just wanted to focus on what Clifton was doing with her. Bad strategy. Now, I'm not of the strategy that some women in the past did. Oh, am I your number one? Am I your number one connection? Am I your number one? That shit drove me crazy too. But the strategy of not to pay any attention to it at all, bad strategy. So she tells the story that, of course, we know, which is true, she doesn't get to see the confessionals from Joy. She doesn't get to see the footage from the dates of Clifton and Joy. So she has no idea that they're so tight and what they're saying behind, off screen to other people. But she did have access to that deliberation room, and Joy was pretty adamant in every single deliberation room of who her number one was, and explicitly talking about how strong her connection was with Clifton. So for Dakiya to say that she never had any inkling of it, and all she's going off of is what Clifton is doing and saying to her, I think that's a bad strategy. Because what we know now is the fact that Clifton absolutely led on Dakiya. He led her on. And you know what? I would have appreciated her saying, you know what? Come to find out, Clifton led me on, and maybe I should have not had so many blinders on. But she doubled down on the behavior as if having blinders on was the best strategy. It wasn't the best strategy, Dakiya. I already told y'all that I knew why Joy acted a fool at that reunion, and that she was jealous once she started watching that footage back from Dakiya and Clifton, because she had no idea what Clifton was doing with Dakiya, the words he was saying, the charm he was putting on her, and all that kind of stuff. Just like Dakiya said she didn't know nothing about Joy's dates, Joy didn't know nothing about Dakiya's dates. So we already know why Joy acted a fool, and it was really just a jealousy. But that just still doesn't absolve Dakiya from asking the right questions. Actually, both things need to be done. And we shouldn't think that one person has to be the total blame for everything. There's enough things people could have done differently on all parts. Everybody could have done something differently. Joy, Dakiya, and Clifton. We ain't got to be all Dakiya and everything she does is right, or all Joy, everything she does is right, or all Clifton, everything they do is right, or all wrong. Clifton's horrible, Joy is horrible, and Dakiya's horrible. No. There's partial blame, responsibility that goes on everybody's shoulders. Let's be real. The one thing, you know what, I want to give kudos to all these people who come on this show, who put their lives out in front of us, because it is a risk. And you know what? From these shows, it's entertainment. We like to laugh, have fun. We get angry. We do all kind of things. But you know what? They put their lives up here, and we do sort of pick apart some of the things they do, some of the things they say. Sometimes it's entertaining. Sometimes it's a learning experience for people, maybe for them, and even maybe for us audience. But I'm really like the type of person where I like people to admit when strategies they've done were not the good strategies, so that other people can learn from them. I don't like when people double down on stuff and act like they did nothing wrong, or they should have done something different, just so they don't have to admit. Now this strategy that Dakiya had, the sex talk, the blinders on, and what she's calling it, all that, bad strategy. I would have really wanted Dakiya to say, you know what, in hindsight, I wish I wouldn't have played my cards that way. I wish I would have done something differently. Sometimes we're so intent on saving face out here that sometimes we don't even learn from our own mistakes. Because if we just hyping ourselves up like, oh, I did nothing wrong, how are you gonna do something different? The Dakiyas of the world, Dakiya 40 or 41 or whatever else, and I'm definitely older than that. And let me tell you, if these younger girls younger than us are gonna learn anything, us 40-year-olds and up, we're gonna have to start telling these young girls, don't do what I did. And although I want to look good out here, don't make the mistakes I made. And one of the mistakes a lot of women make in dating is they do the same old strategy in dating from when they was 20 to they 40. Doesn't matter if it's not working. Doesn't matter if they're not getting no results. What they rather do is be right and save face, and they keep doing the same old things out here, even though it's not producing no fruit and no winners At some point in time, you got to abandon bad strategies. You got to say to yourself and to other people, hey, I did the wrong thing. And if I had a chance to do it all over again, I would do something different. But Dakiya actually went the opposite way. I mean, she basically ran down every date with Clifton, what he did, what he said, why she didn't know he had. I said, well, yeah, Dakiya, you probably didn't know because you wasn't asking no questions. What is this? The don't tell, don't ask? And then she said, well, I would care if we were really dating and we were, I guess, boyfriend and girlfriend, then she would care what he was doing with other women. No, that's not when you start caring, Dakiya. You start caring when you're vetting the guy. That's when you start caring. Why would you start caring when you boyfriend and girlfriend? By then it's too late. You done committed to the man, at least at some level. You should start caring before. You should have started watching the way Clifton was moving with Joy and you from the very beginning, because had you known that, you would have moved differently. And the thing about it was he was hiding in plain sight. Everybody else on the show knew, and they hadn't seen no footage. All the other women on the show knew that Clifton was wrapped up in Joy. That's why none of those women was even trying to even still date Clifton, because they knew it was a wrap. So this idea that you hadn't seen footage or you hadn't seen dates for you not to know this, I don't believe that, Dakiya. We also found out that Dakiya tried to self-eliminate after that whole thing went down at the retreat, and Clifton finally said that, you know, what he needed to say to her. She said that she tried to eliminate, but production was like, you under contract, no more self-eliminations. Production was like, shoot, we done lost too many people to self-elimination. Ace had self-eliminated. Then you had Eric self-eliminating. And that's also why I sort of put Ace a little bit higher up, because what Ace recognizes was that there was no one else there for her, and she decided to not play along with the game. And I think she did take the high road. So if I was really voting for anyone for the classiest, I probably would have voted for Ace, because she didn't participate in none of that sex talk. She didn't play no dirty games. When she realized that her match wasn't there, she self-eliminated. So for me, Ace actually became my number one in terms of the classiest. I like Dakiya, and I don't want people to think I don't like Dakiya. And that's another thing I don't like out here. Why can't we like people but still disagree with some of the things that they do or choices they made? If your friendship is all based on everybody agreeing with you, then you ain't got no real friends. I can like Dakiya, I can admire Dakiya for certain things, but I also can say, hey, you know what? I don't agree with these things about Dakiya. And that's kind of the way I feel about Dakiya. Like I said, if you watch my earlier shows, I was screaming at the TV. I did not like Dakiya's dating strategy at all, not one bit. But I hope this relationship that she's in with this new guy, I think she looks good. In fact, I like Dakiya better with no makeup than I do with all that makeup. I love this picture with her and her new man. I really hope they do well. I hope that Dakiya is letting go some of those old criteria or whatever she had in terms of accepting love from a man or being with a man. The fact that this man has been in her backyard all this time and she never noticed him, that's a big clue to me. It ain't a clue, I already knew it. It's just confirmation for me. And I hope other women out here start looking in their backyards, because let me tell you, friendship is the foundation of any strong relationship. Not how tall the man is, not all this stuff women come up with. Friendship, someone you like spending time with, you can enjoy, who you can have fun with, who you can laugh with, who you can travel with, who you want to call and have your ups and downs. Not how tall he is, not all this other ridiculous criteria people come up with. Because let me tell you something, when you start to get around my age, them heels you wearing, you ain't going to be wearing them that much anymore anyway. You ain't going to be in those 6-inch heels. So you might as well start getting a man who you can be around for the long term and start appreciating men for the things that's going to be worth something, not his height. His height ain't worth a damn thing. And I hope Dakiya understands you ain't got to talk about NASA to everybody. Everybody ain't got to be a PhD or so intelligent, because half the stuff me and my husband talk about, we really don't need nothing more than maybe a 5th grade education. What are you guys talking about in your relationship so much that you need some highly educated person and all this other kind of stuff? People be asking for stuff they don't even use. How high of a level is your conversation? How high of an education does a person need to have in order to have a conversation with you? Are you always talking on a PhD level? No. Find a man you can enjoy, have fun with, travel with, enjoy your life with, laugh, have great sex. Those are the things that matter, women. So anyway, I'm happy that Dakiya got this new man. I really hope that they do well. I hope that it brings her all the happiness and joy she is looking for, because I absolutely think she deserves it. But I'm still going to disagree with her strategy in this Ready to Love season. That's it. Talk to you later. Bye.